Snake, what's up? Why are you naked? But without a shirt on, your camouflage sucks, and your stamina goes down faster. You don't get any advantages whatsoever.
Is there a way to take off my pants?
Say what? Oh, hell no! This Fox unit is a nutfest.
If you thought last time was an attempt to sell my sanity, well, we're back. And this time it took 24 hours, over 400 failures. No. They were rookie numbers. This time it took 51 hours and over 600 failures. This is the story of Metal Gear Solid Delta without camouflage, without the Tranquilizer gun, without any kills, whilst getting the highest rank available, all on the hardest difficulty possible. Let's go. Back in the saddle again in the Russian jungle. The training wheels are on, so after grabbing our backpack, stripping down to our birthday suit, we're ready to be woefully under-equipped for the upcoming challenges. Past the Floridian fellas and straight to the first area with enemies. This is European Extreme, so the sight lines are greatly increased, and any discovery is a failure. Getting caught is fine, we can just press continue and restart. Oh no you don't, this is Foxhound, and that means we have 0 continues, meaning instead we have to reload an earlier save. But doesn't that mean that the only difference is that you save every area and can just reload that? You can see here on the requirements that there's no save limit. That is the case in Delta, but in the original MGS3 there was a 25 save limit, which we will be using, and we're not allowed to use the autosaves at all. Now we are back. Crawl through a convenient tree and head through the brush. Slink past Cedric the Soviet, and here the strategy is to hit throw one of the Gruillas. Let his concerned boyfriend stroll over, and as you hide behind a stump, take him roughly from behind, then head towards the bridge. Now the usual easy strat is to annoy some hornets and let them chase everyone away. However, we can't do that, as the only weapon we have is the trank, and that isn't allowed. So instead let's slide down gently, place Dimitri in the dirt, plod across the rope bridge, well out of sight of the two fellas walking directly at us, then hang and shimmy across in a stealthy way, pull up and head for the exit. Now we're in Razvet, and I'm sure some of you will recognise this place.
Oh, deja vu.
This is a tricky bit, but we know exactly how to do it. So let's do the exact same thing and fail. Right back to the beginning we go. So, as this area is quite tricky, I'm going to burn one of our saves here. We have 25 of the things. I mean, how hard could it be? It's not as if we're going to be cutting it fine with saves at all, is it? So, we need a strategy. Going to the left seems like a poor choice. So instead let's head the opposite way, and after heading into the grass, we can go all the way around the perimeter, and when the guard path's clear, dart for the crawl space under the house. When Ivan Drago's cousin, 14 times removed, buggers off around the corner, we can nip out, hop over a wall, and then host an impromptu judo seminar for our favourite Green Army man, before hopping off to meet Sokolov. Plot occurs, badassery follows.
Then die.
The only way to make all of this make sense is that his extractor has failed to work.
But what you don't understand is he's actually a double agent for the double agent, and he's actually a mole who's banging your mum. Snake discovers his ability on the Matrix. And shows up here. washed. After patching ourselves up, it's time to leave. Broken. But then a week later, we're back. In the jungle, in the dark, and now we save. Moving into the jungle again under the cover of dark, this time we have a proper pistol. As our equipment options are limited, it's not a bad idea to get a couple of empty pistol magazines to use as distraction objects by shooting at a wall and equipping them. Don't forget to give a lead lobotomy to random animals, as we'll need them later. After meeting our dummy mommy and getting trodden on, we have a couple of inquisitive Ivans who want to investigate our six-pack. After luring them into the honeypot by spinning around like a madman, hide off to the side and then approach and casually masatsu. Now back on the bridge, the plan is to surf down like a bad commentary channel and fail miserably, once or twice. The actual plan is to be a little patient, wait for everyone to turn away, then slide into those DMs and rub them both off into the dirt. Saunter across the bridge and head through to Razvet. Grab the AK and head into the factory. It's that time again. So after getting acquainted with the lovely, luscious and supple M1911A1 pistol, the feeding ramp has been polished to a mirror sheen, the slide replaced with a reinforced version, the regular hammer's been replaced with a ring hammer. It's a real gem of an automatic pistol. We now need to take on the Ocelot unit, and last time it took over 100 attempts. But this time? Well, we know the basic strategy. That's been figured out. We just need to replicate it again. It's just a case of hiding under the bed, throwing 2 stun grenades and flash banging the first 4 balaclava bandits. Then knocking on the wall to lure more of the wildcats into the room before letting them get some R&R. This lets us sneak under the building, and one of the differences between this and the original shows up. You see, in the HD collection of MGS3, you can switch between the Snake Eater camera and the third-person camera at will. Most of the time, the overhead Snake Eater camera is flat out worse. However, there are a couple of specific places in the game where having that camera angle means you can see things that are quite hard to see from third person, like this. Now, Delta can let you switch to Legacy mode, which has the Snake Eater camera, but the only way to do it is to reload a save, meaning we lose all progress. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Instead, crane your neck upwards and hope you can see the barrel poking out from the roof. Then head up, stalk behind the bent over bloke and give him a quick sports massage. Some of you may remember that previously I could Goomba stomp onto the pussycat from above. Yes, take it. But here, yeah, that's a no-go. Instead, let him walk under us and drop into the room again. Knock onto the wall and let him stroll into the chokey all by himself and tuck him in with the rest of the lads. These last 2 patrolmen are a pain. This one in particular, as he has his binoculars out and can see you from across the map. So what we can do instead is pop out here, let the first fella see us and investigate, dip behind a wall, and when he walks past, give him a backstreet physio appointment. Now crawl behind the barrel, crawl out to lure the final Ocelot over, follow him around and dump him in the dirt. Seems pretty easy, right? Are you what? Why? Why? I pressed the button. I pressed the button. That is not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. Yes! Take it! Yeah! First try! Anyway, as we were. So if the first took me 106 attempts, how many do you reckon this took? Come on, it's been 2 years. Have a little faith. I've gotten slightly better at video games. Now we can head through to the Crocodile Swamp, where we retrace our steps and get the Croc Cap. Apparently the Croc Cap is camo. Even though it doesn't show up on the camo section, and is an item, so is the cardboard box. So in that case, this is a snap decision that's going to bite me later, isn't it? Still heading into Bolshaya Past south, we get spotted by the Great Danes. Meaning, oh yeah, back to the Ocelot unit. And after an additional 3 failures and 20 minutes, we're back. But this time, we save. This whole area is quite precise. Electrified fences, Great Danes and a gaggle of geezers graciously gagging to greet us with their guns. Fun. Belly rub the ground until you get to the tree, distract the dogs by lobbing a dead gator in their general direction, whilst they get a bellyful, climb the tree, drop off the other side, hide behind a set of 4 rather rotund twigs that definitely hide you from the patrolman beyond the fence. When he turns away, line yourself up like this, with the tree in front blocking the view of this jungle jobber, and gambol through the opening in the fence. Cross behind the log on the left. When he doubles back and heads past, it's then Easy Street, under the barbed wire and through to Bolshaya Past base. On our previous jaunt here, we destroyed the Hind D and ransacked the place for all it's worth. This time, however, considering how we only have 5 hours in-game time to get the job done, we're going to be moving as quickly as we can. I also suspect that last time destroying the helicopter hinded us more than it helped us. Also, as I can't use the grenade glitch that let us cancel our footstep sound, we'll need to take a different route. When the sentinel shuffles off, use the tactical twigs for cover. And when the next little security guard strolls off, dash up and give him some boss-approved kinetic therapy. Cross the back of the base and grab all of the explosive goodies from the ammo storage room. Slink down to the medical supply shed and aid with Ivan's tactical floor deployment. It's time for the cat's meow himself, Ocelot. He's actually a bit of a challenge now, considering previously our broken legs gave us a hobnob of a health bar, but this time we're stuck with rich tea biscuits. But how can we defeat him? We've got this crevice separating us apart, and it's a straight up gunfight. Obviously the trank is out. What can we do? Shoot him repeatedly with a less than lethal M911, because he doesn't canonically die after this fight. We're fine to use lethal armaments, and it won't count towards the kill count. Brilliant! So after doing our spaghetti western impression, we actually get stung by bees and die. Lovely. Back we go. Again. After reloading and checking the stats screen, I've made a mistake. So that's 40 minutes down the toilet, back to the Ocelots. Again. 5 attempts later, and we beat the pussy cat patrolman.
What the fuck is this?
And yet again, after some dubious stealth, we drag our way to the triple-crossing gunslinger. He only has the chance to murder us an additional 3 times, but on our 4th, we clench it.
Found us.
And now we're in a cave, and it's cold and dark. We can't save yet either. One wrong move and it's back to the base for us. Because our saves are so limited, I wanted to stretch them out, and that requires us getting past the pain without saving. On my last jaunt through the Russian jungles, we had to use the trank on him. It was the only way, so do we fail here as well? Something that I never brought up in the previous video is that there is a way to skip the pain. All you need to do is approach where the cutscene would trigger, like this, use a fake death pill, and you can see how that's moved Snake. Well, now he's past what would trigger the cutscene, and if we do the exact same thing here, we're now free to leave, and just pretend like we never encountered the anaphylaxis antagonist. Perfect, let's do that. Well, we can't, and it's not for the reason you think. The same trick does work in Delta. However, in both versions of the game, the European extreme restrictions reduce the amount of fake death pills you can hold to 1, making that trick pointless. Something has been discovered in Delta. You see, there is this quick camo switch option, where you can switch between different camouflage, and if you just keep switching, you can actually see that Snake's running cycle is continuing to happen. And if you keep switching over and over and over and over again, when you let go, you teleport forwards, meaning we can completely bypass the pain. And before you start reaching for the pitchforks, the rules state I have to be naked and have no camo. Now, Delta has 2 cosmetically different naked camo outfits, so if I switch between those, technically I'm naked the whole time and never wear any camo. This trick also lets you skip the Ocelot unit as well as the Fear, but we won't be using it there. It's only getting used here because there isn't realistically another option. Heading out of the cave and towards the light, we have a river to conquer. And this is where we save. So after the madness of what we've gone through, will this section be easier? No! This is one of the most brutal segments across the whole run, and why would that be? Well, we're not allowed to use the croc cap, and we did previously to help hide under the water, here on the river, and here in the warehouse exterior. As well as that, the interior section is very difficult to navigate, but there are some strategies. Swim under the water, dodging all of the overhead drones, then head through to the warehouse exterior, and upon walking in, we're already raising suspicion and spotted. It's about a minute run back, one that we'll end up doing quite a few times. All those people commenting on the croc cap. Well, here is the strategy I used last time, and it was beautiful. I mean, just look at it. It's sublime. Using some lesser used items, and it all came together perfectly. It was glorious. But here, instead, this is what we have to do. Enter the warehouse and instantly turn around. Go back to the river and re-enter the warehouse. This actually changes the guard position. Hide to the right just before you exit the stage and let Oscar the Observer shuffle off to the right. Then head into the drink, swim down and around to this concrete wall. You'll notice that someone has seen you. Ignore that for now. When the deckhand puts his binoculars away, shoot the barrel over the other side of the map. And swing around to shoot the second. The explosion, accidentally on purpose, kills both of the chaps. What a shame. Oh yeah, that's definitely a better stealth strategy, isn't it? Did you prefer that solution? The Batman 5214? This actually works because shooting a barrel and causing it to explode with a poor jobber nearby doesn't count as a kill, and as the options are tight, I am taking it. Remember to grab the night vision goggles and head inside. And this place, probably the one area in the game that benefits best from the legacy controls. As on the far side you get a pulled back camera angle that actually lets you see the guard on the top walkway. But as that reloads to an autosave, we can't use it, meaning it's even more difficult than it was previously. After some testing of various strategies, we come up with this, and it is quite slick if I do say so myself. Wait for strolling Sergei to move to the left, take a run up and vault over the railings, crouch run up the stairs, and coach the guard through a seminar on gravity. Double back to the food storage room, ransack for whatever you can find, and plant some TNT. Pop out to attempt to blindly attract the attention of the above squaddy, and proceed to aid in his leave request. Then drag him further from the door, head upstairs and set off the explosion, and head through to the next area. At Graniny Gorki, there's a simple solution that we can employ to get inside. Belly crawl to victory. Wait behind this tree whilst Vasily the visually impaired turns away, and then crawl through the gap in the fence and head through to the inner walls. As we can't use the strat of just changing into the scientist uniform to get taken inside, we actually need to figure out a way to get through. Run up and help the nearby lookout to touch grass, then dip behind this tree, and the next concerned chap will stroll over. Run around the back of the tree and assist him in a tactical ground level relocation. Then head to the far side and crawl into the vent. And here, we save. Previously on MGS3 Played in a Stupid Way, we could utilise the box. It let us completely ignore the scientists. This time, however, we can't. so we'll actually have to take the challenge on in full, and after some testing, this is how you do it. Pop out of the vent and wait for the Poindexter in the window to turn around and stealthily break a window and head downstairs. Now, this area is the trickiest, because of this room with all the scientists. Sean's got a shotgun, but we have gravity. Head to the next door, knock on the wall, and wait for the investigative Ivan to show up and give him a surprise cuddle. Dip through the next room before the scientist sees you, and we're here. Instead of dashing through with a box on our head, we can throw a stun grenade to stealthily alert everyone, but slink through whilst they can't actually see us. And after having a natter with Granny,
I want to help you.
Help me.
To thank you for your compliment.
What compliment?
My shoes.
we now need to leave this place. So outside of this door is a rather large group of men, and unfortunately all of them have eyes that can see us. Even worse, they're all looking at us. Go ahead and knock on wood. When he struts in, give him some ground and pound. Then wait for the scientists to furiously stop flailing their arms about, and after he passes by, help him reevaluate his life's choices. Head down and drop his body like it's hot. Notice when we did this, the threat ring around Snake shows a bunch of exclamation marks. This is good. It'll drag the officers in the next room into here to investigate. Hide behind this box, definitely out of the eyesight of the chaps next door. When they open the door, they'll see the sleepy scientist and check on him. But before they do, you can do some
consecutive speed. C.
Then head upstairs. This next part is fairly simple. Wait for everyone's back to be turned, dive through the now broken window, and head back to the vent. Back at the interior walls, we can just let the pair of jarheads stroll away and casually approach from behind and return them to Mother Nature. The exterior walls, we again rub our stomach on dirt repeatedly, using the grass and trees for cover, and head in to face the fear. Now this could be really quite difficult, as the flashbang trick doesn't work anymore, meaning we can't instantly kill him. So saving here seems like the best bet. We could be here for the long haul. Remember all that scran we've been saving up? Well, all of those edibles that are now manky and rotten, it's their time to shine. Equip as much of the festering food as possible and throw it into the centre of the arena. Then using the thermal goggles we can track where the fear is and hide behind trees appropriately. The fear's stamina bar decreases over time naturally, and he comes down to the forest floor to become a snake eater. But what you'll find instead is hideous amounts of rotting gators to nibble on. This gives him a bad tummy. He throws up and proceeds to need more food, which we have lovingly provided. Keep throwing food on the floor until he's all the way down, and with a single cartwheel, he's down and out. Except, well, we have a continue. Back to the start of the fear fight, and we still have a continue. We have to go back to Granny. The warehouse again seems like it'd be rather difficult, but with us destroying the food supply, it makes everyone a bit dopey and easier to take care of. After some testing, we can get through quite consistently, storm through like a crouching tiger hidden viper, and slap everyone upside the head. Strolling through Svatogorny, we take this right-hand path, hit a meal with the earth, and stroll past into the next boss area. This wasn't all that difficult. I probably should have played all the way through from Granny's room to here, and removed one of the saves. I'm sure it'll be fine. The end, the classic sniper duel. A long, fraught conflict between an OAP and a naked Special Forces judoka, a tale as old as time. Our last attempt took a long time, but it wasn't actually difficult. We got there first try. Last time, the SIG spray carried hard. It does huge amounts of damage in this fight. However, this time, we're not using it. We will have some problems. The general plan is to sneak up behind him, hold him up and punt him like a football a couple of times. Try to avoid getting flashed and chase him all over the forest. Rinse and repeat. And slowly, eventually, painfully, we whittle his health down. Right up until Mother Nature proves she can suck the chrome off a bumper and revitalises the old man. Where is he? No! No! No!
I feel like a new man.
Let's reset. It's very easy to get shot. These don't do damage. It just hits your stamina. However, each shot also counts as a serious injury. We can have a maximum of 20, and we start this area with 3. And well, now we don't have that many left. But after 11 attempts and 3 whole hours, the old man can go to the retirement home up in the sky. Oh! 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 I'm so sick! Some of you may have thought, what about letting him die of old age? And yes, that does work, and it's much faster in-game time, meaning this boss fight would take about 30 seconds, rather than the 34 minutes it actually ended up taking. And we are trundling towards our 5-hour time limit at great speed. It's definitely the better option, if it wasn't for one thing. You won't receive his gun, and there's a good chance we might need it later. So a 30-minute boss fight is how it needs to be. Now heading up the ladder. You know, I feel a bit guilty. In the last video, I used the Snake Eater theme for Snake breaking his legs, repeatedly.
What a fear in my heart.
And then I blue-balled you all by not using it on the ladder. Fair enough, here we go. Now, well then, I suppose I'd better do it myself. What a thrill, in darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I bet my life, not for honor, but for you. It's in my time, there'd be no one else. Crime is the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, Snake Eater. Snake Eater. We're at the top of the ladder. Let's head through to the mountain and save. This whole mountain area, I think all in all it's the most difficult stealth section in the game. We need to get through these 3 maps. All the way up here, then after having a natter with Eva, bob back down for our next red hot encounter. None of the individual maps are incredibly difficult, but it's 3 areas one after the other that combine together to make something really quite challenging, especially with our lack of cardboard box. Run across the far side of the mountain and give Gary a Kasparovian beatdown. Use the Teletubbyland land lumps as cover and enforce an altitude adjustment on Anatoly. Hide behind this large rocky outcrop and dash through when the coast is clear. This map is especially dangerous. Something that hasn't really come up yet is that the big differences in difficulty is how long enemies stay knocked out. On very easy you'll get 5 whole minutes, but on European Extreme 2 minutes. And when they wake up, they'll alert everyone else. This sets a caution state, and that makes the next map practically impossible. So we have to be fast. Duck walk to the rock face, head up and give him a CQC cuddle, and now we start the timer. Meander towards the man mincing aggressively with a meet and greet to forget. Hide behind the rock and give Sergei the stone cold stunner. Head further up the rock face and throw a distraction magazine to divert Dimitri's gaze, then politely force him to assume the face down arse up position. Crawl through the open, and as soon as the 2 chaps turn away from each other, throw a second distraction mag, be the visiting Sandman. Swing around back and dump the next body in the dust. 15 seconds to spare. Let's go. I mean, that was all quite easy. We only failed on basically every guard imaginable. Now on to the mountaintop proper. As soon as we walk in, we've already attracted some attention. So head to this small outcrop where we're very obviously well hidden.
Just my imagination.
Everything looks normal.
All clear.
When he turns away, climb up the mountain. You can actually make a straight dart for this far right side. Use the crest of this hill as cover, and when the coast is clear, it's time to engage the Ragdoll Enlightenment program. Head into the ruins, and after the tension builds, 4.2 seconds later, we now need to head back down the mountain. It's not far. After getting hot and bothered and snubbing the candle out, wait for the chap in the shade to turn around and go downhill skiing. Then crawl to the door. It's now time for the Fury. So, how long do you think it took for me to climb this small hillock? And how many attempts? Well, if your bingo card had 60 attempts across 2 hours 57 minutes, you have an oddly specific bingo card. But now, we save. You might be thinking, compared to the previous video, he's well ahead of schedule. Previously, he had 348 resets at this point, and currently he's only at 292. Yeah, about that. Previously for the Fury, we had a solid strategy. Hide behind a wall and roll at him. Make him flame us and go to jet off, and roll at him again. You could stun lock him. Now that's fine, but what about in Delta? Well, it doesn't work. Ish. It kind of does, but there is another incredibly important part to that strategy. If we got set on fire, you could use the cardboard box to put it out. As well as back then I had a full health bar and I still used life medicine to get through. But now, this is it. This is where we test my cranial capacity for punishment versus a man with a red hot poker. It's not only the game design out to get me, Unreal 5 also has some things to say. What? What happened? The game crashed? What? So what makes this much harder is these small flames on the floor. It's somewhat inconsistent on if you get set on fire or just move through them. I suspect there's some sort of hidden heat bar mechanic that fills up and you get set on fire after that. But each time you get a little burn, it takes about 25% to a third of your health. That mixed with the Fury being able to two-shot us at basically any time and often comboing us into death, it's... well, look, let's just grind and fight. I'm sure it'll work out. Fuck! Oh, that sucks! Oh, the little flames suck. Every other time I've just had the ability to push through. That's what I've always done. That's what I thought I'd always do, but this is different. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm good enough. I think I'd just give up.
You really gonna give up that easily, Rando? I beat Promise Consort Radan on New Game Plus with only shitty ballistas. Wouldn't it be infuriating if you gave up now?
Mamma mia, I live with this guy. Que scassa minchia.
I beat Dark Souls 2 by setting myself on fire.
Well, I beat Hardcore Diablo 2 with a barbarian using only crafted gear.
Do you even know who I am, pal? I'm the candlestick guy. I beat Dark Souls 3 with both the candlesticks.
I've never even died in any run where I beat Dark Souls 1.
Don't you give up? Why are you quitting there? Just try a little bit harder. Think of all the people around you and the people cheering you on. Look at me. I spent more than a year drowning in gales. You will surely accomplish your goal. That's why you should never give up.
Right, let's lock in. Oh, that was so close! No! No! Yes! Yes! Get it! Eat shit! I'm so sick! Oh! Oh! Ah! Now we need to enter the final stronghold, Groznyj Grad. A temple to concrete, brutalism, and a tank with NOS. Head up to the container on the right, and when the coast is clear, calmly approach and hit Chekhov with the earth. His guns were no match for ours. Head around the hangar and nip into this red door. Head around yet another hangar, and just be careful of timing. You need to make sure the Soviet across the courtyard turns away before you give Nikolai a state-enforced bedtime. Cross and enter the weapons lab. Again, as we can't use the box, cross to this corner and wait. When the KGB comrade strolls towards you, stalk forwards behind him and run up the stairs. And here, we wait. This room is right next door to where we need to take the captain of the base, a rather twinky doppelganger of everyone's favourite boy in blonde.
No problem here. Huh? Boy shy.
He's also the only one who walks through here, so just be patient. 3.5 minutes later, and he strolls in. Run up, engage in some roughhousing, take advantage of the poor bloke, and dump him in a cupboard. We're here again, aren't we? So far, all of the tenets of the challenge are intact. Last time the challenge technically failed at the pain, but this time, we worked around it. It also technically failed in some people's eyes because of the sig spray, the cardboard box, and the croc cap, but they've all been avoided. But this is where it ends. Again, we have to wear the officer outfit, otherwise we can't get through this door. And if the guards are knocked out, we can't open the door at all.
Snake, those sentries are the only ones who can open the door. You won't be able to get into the West Wing if you knock them all out. You'll just have to go someplace else and wait for new sentries to be posted.
So, we wear the uniform and get punished appropriately.
beautiful body you have, like a newborn baby.
Grab the fork and get the fake death pill and the track of the fork out of your body. Grab and eat the food that comes through the bars, and when Johnny turns away, use the codec code conveniently given to you by the dead man. Rush through and... Look, can I go off script for a sec? This whole area, why does it take away CQC? Why? It's ridiculous! It's something to do whilst unarmed. It's basically judo. Snake lost an eye, not his hands. He can still punch people. Why can't he just throw them on the concrete anymore? So we can't use CQC, we can't use the SIG spray, and we can't use the box. And the next couple of areas are vicious. After running to these barrels and slinking into the northeast quadrant, it's a straight shot to Groznyj Grad northwest. I need to explain what makes this next area so infuriating. There are guards here and here, as well as a couple of Doberman having a sleep. And they will wake up if you get too close and then alert everyone. Their guard paths look something like this. Heading through the tanks is doable, but you'll get stuck around here with no way to progress. You can also go the other way and hide behind this bollard that no one can see you from, but the goal is here, and this open area is basically always being looked at. There just isn't a path through. Everywhere's covered, unless you do this. Run around the tanks dragging this chap over, dip behind him walking up, and pop out here, head behind the guard walking towards the bollard, and give a wide berth to the final guard on the courtyard. Make like Mew and hide under the truck. Then crawl your way to victory. This is definitely the face of a man who expected this absolutely planned strategy that definitely wasn't a complete accident. Oh! Oh! Blagged myself to a solution there. Jesus, what was that? From here, head down into the sewers and take a dive into the drink.
Now you will know the sorrow of those whose lives you have ended.
Now we have the sorrow, a far less tense situation than in the previous version of the game, as now we can check our run stats at any time. After proving that the dead man is in fact quite dead, we head into the cave and it's time for the one-eyed snake to listen to his one-eyed trouser snake.
Can't even eat a snake during a mission, huh?
I wouldn't mind eating you.
We're now back on the base, this time with the job to blow up a tank. No, we can't use the box fast travel anymore either, but, well, we've already been this way before, retracing our steps all the way back through the outdoor areas into the weapons lab. Sneaking in the exact same way that we did previously, we can walk out into the hangar. All we need to do in here is put the C3 on these fuel tank things. And good lord, is this area a bit frustrating without the sanctity of the cardboard box to add as a mobile hiding spot. It's much harder to just circle around the outside of the room. So instead, dive over the railings and head into this service tunnel, crawl under the truck, head out and around the outside and plant the C3. What? What? What was that? I mean, that's just not how eyes work. After reloading, if you get back there, plant the first C3, loop back around the outside, drop a magazine for Sergei to peruse, then set up another C3 on the second tank. wait for the engineer to investigate the heavy machinery, and whilst our chum runs off to investigate the heavy petting, run up the ramp, plant the third C3, and loop all the way back to the first unit. Squeeze through the side, and when everyone's back is turned, head up and plant the final bomb. Oh yes! Yes! Volgin, with his thunderbolts and lightning, he is very, very frightening. However, we have CQC and brand new animations that we can counter basically all of his attacks. Volgin 1 is down. Now we start the bike chase. At this point we have 7 saves left. Now in my head that's perfect. 1 for the bike chase, then the Shagohod fight, the sniping section, a rocket duel with Volgin on the Shagohod, second bike chase, then the Eva Escort quest, and finally 1 for the boss. Perfect! Sounds like we've got this in the bag. Hang on, what are those extra stages I'd forgotten about? Oh god, no. So, this bike chase section has some interesting properties. Namely, we have infinite ammo. Snake has a bucket of flash grenades in his sidecar footwell, and we will be throwing them. Lots. Whilst you may remember the game from your playthrough looking like this, for me, it looks like this. From my perspective, I'm T-side running into Mirage with a Negev. With our lack of health, it's also super easy for us to get shot at by an RPG and die. But eventually, after some flashbanging, we get through the first bike chase section, and we have very little health. So we just die. Yep, that's it. Runs over, we can't increase our health anymore, and this whole section is a life drain. Unless we go to sleep. Seriously, Snake heals his health bar in real time, so if you turn the game off and come back tomorrow, he's got full health. We're going to need to use another save to make that happen. Another day, another bike chase. Now with full health, we can in fact flash bang it out. Just don't stop. Keep throwing the things and eventually, hopefully, we'll get through without much mishap. Now on the runway with the sliver of health, it's actually fine. There is a strategy. Keep throwing stun grenades, and after you're round the corner, pull out the AK and shoot the wheels of the sidecars. What? What do you mean that's killing someone? No, it isn't. It was a terrible accident. Besides, the game says it's fine anyway, so after non-lethally causing motorcycles to explode, the Shagohod shows up again. And the plan here? Whip out your overcompensating pocket rocket launcher and get blasting. Just do not stop. You'll actually very slowly do bits of damage to it as well. When Volgin sends out big boy rockets of his own, just shoot them down. So we progress onto the sniping section. Shoot all of the C3 when the Shagohod is on the bridge, and
we did it!
we actually have to fight the Shagohod itself. Just shoot it in the tracks and blast it from behind, repeatedly. Shoot the rockets when he fires them. This phase, it's a gimmick boss, nothing really to worry about. But now it's phase 2. Volgin has strapped himself to the top of the thing and is riding around it like a chariot. Eva drops us ammo when we need, and we need to shoot the tracks to slow him down, and then, well, remember when I said that we couldn't let the end die of old age? This is why. We need the Mosin Nagant, a sniper rifle that also happens to be a trank. There just isn't another way. I tried everything I could think of. Stun grenades do nothing. Throwing magazines at his noggin just phase through. The only option here is the Mosin. It's a simple and easy boss fight, but there just isn't a way around it all. And the pain doesn't even stop there. This forest. I had no thoughts that this could even be difficult. I mean, last time I just spammed stun grenades to victory and that worked. Or did it? Looking back at the footage, I was throwing grenades like an absolute madman, but I still took a lot of damage and even needed to use the life medicine. You see, stun grenades do absolutely nothing at all. The platform goons just avoid it and keep shooting. Maybe we can take these platforms themselves out and that won't count as a kill. RPG? Nope, that counts as a kill. Shooting bits of it like the bikes? Nope, that doesn't work either. In total we can survive 42 seconds, and we need to survive 1 minute 30 to exit the map. So it's not that far. Maybe we can do something. Take out an AK and start pumping rounds into one of the platforms, forcing them to take cover, meaning that they're not shooting at you. I'd expect this would extend our time by about a third. And we survive 45 seconds. How about instead we try to shoot all of them? Move between targets fast enough so that they're always ducking. And that looks something like this. And I look like this. Who did it better, me or DSP?
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
And this time we survive 50 seconds. It's an increase, but just not enough. It's not possible. There isn't a way to deal with them. I either need to use the life medicine, which invalidates the Foxhound rank, kill them, which invalidates the Foxhound rank, or use the Mosin again. So that's what we do. They stop following us, letting us move on to the final bike chase. Fortunately, this one is solvable again by hideous amounts of stun grenades, but after ending up in a bit of a pickle, we're back on our feet. It's time for the final stealth area. After fixing both ourselves and Eva up, we have this final stretch of stealth. A brutal stealth puzzle at the precipice of completion. A puzzle to be unwound, like this. One thing to note about this area, the game does throw you a bone. If you knock an enemy out, they'll never wake back up. It's probably a game design thing to make escorting Eva slightly less painful. Slink down the slope and dump Boris Karloff's into the dirt, stalk up the hill and play Slap the Soviet. Trek around the top and take Lenin's lunch money, and wait here at this rock for the pair of vagabonds to bugger off and take them down one by one, leading to this clearing. And this is where the difficulty really spikes. We're going to have to very carefully lure each one of these chaps out one by one. Start by heading to this log and standing up. That should alert one of the combatants, dip behind a tree and wait for them to pass, then accelerate their bedtime plans. Carefully climb over this log, hold up the grunt on the floor, and proceed to return to sender. Slowly advance and pull the guard in the brush all the way over, and again, hide behind a tree and let him see all the stars in the universe when he passes. Now slowly loop around the outside of the arena to get the drop on and re-drop Andre the Giant. Then run about a bit and attract the attention of the sneaky sod in the crevice over the other side. But cross the floor and hide behind these twigs so he can't see you. And as he wanders past, give him a dirt nap. Oh yes! Now head back for Eva and guide her through the assault course of concussions, and we fight the boss.
Face me.
In the end, the only person we killed was the Joy. Metal Gear Solid Delta without the Trank, without Camo on European Extreme whilst getting the highest rank possible, is done. The remake of a video game with a remake of a video is complete. Is it better? I don't know, but it is different. Special thank you to the Bonfire members who put up with my inane malarkey, and thank you to the Patreon and channel members who are making this all possible. Henning Frogner, Lone Pear, Belzelmoth, Martin Sadler, Scott T, Darth Mink, Rollout, Goz Ann, John Burkett, King Emo Cut, Undercover, David Marsden, Cool Kid 38, Hey Matey. And with that, good night.